Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to Microbiology Part 3. Bingo. And without wasting any of our time, let's go directly to our quiz. A branch of hypha which supports the reproductive structure. A. Suspensa. B. Pathogenic bacteria. C. Zygospore. D. Single-celled protein. And the answer is A. Suspensa. A thick-walled resting spore with a resistant coating to survive advanced conditions, produced from the union of two gametes, for example, as in rhizopas. A. Suspensa. B. Pathogenic bacteria. C. Zygospore. D. Single-celled protein. And the answer is C. Zygospore. Bacteria that are capable of causing a disease, for example, diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus, 3-in-1 vaccination, are all caused by bacteria. A. Suspensa. B. Pathogenic bacteria. C. Zygospore. D. Single-celled protein. And the answer is B. Pathogenic bacteria. Microorganisms used as human or animal food. A. Suspensa. B. Pathogenic bacteria. C. Zygospore. D. Single-celled protein. And the answer is D. Single-celled protein. Viruses that contain just one single strand of RNA and replicate using the enzyme reverse transcriptase to copy this RNA into a complementary single strand of DNA. The single-stranded DNA is then copied, and the resulting double-stranded DNA is inserted into a chromosome of the host cell. A. Retroviruses. B. Vector. C. Sterile. D. Plasmid. And the answer is A. Retrovirus. Small circular piece of DNA found in bacteria and yeast often contains genes bestowing drug resistance. A. Retrovirus. B. Vector. C. Sterile. D. Plasmid. And the answer is D. Plasmid. Free from all types of microorganisms, or incapable of producing fertile gametes. A. Retrovirus. B. Vector. C. Sterile. D. Plasmid. And the answer is C. Sterile. An organism that transmits a pathogen or a piece of DNA, i.e., a carrier of a disease, infection, or gene from one organism to another. For example, the tsetse is the carrier of sleeping sickness, and viruses are used when making recombinant DNA molecules. A. Retrovirus. B. Vector. C. Sterile. D. Plasmid. And the answer is B. Vector. One. The substance on which an enzyme acts to produce the product. Or 2. Nutrient media for bacteria. Or surface for attachment and or nutrition. For example, bread for bread rhizopas. A. Virus. B. Progametangium. C. Substrate. D. Sporongiophore. And the answer is C. Substrate. Non-cellular microorganisms made up of a protein coat and one type of nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA. They are obligate parasites. That is, they can only multiply or reproduce inside a living cell. 3 types sphere, rod, and bacteriophage. Cause disease, for example, foot and mouth, rabies, polio, influenza, common cold, AIDS, etc. A. Virus. B. Progametangium. C. Substrate. D. Sporongiophore. And the answer is A. Virus. The fertile tip of a hyphae of rhizopas before it forms a gametangium. A. Virus. B. Progametangium. C. Substrate. D. Sporongiophore. And the answer is Progametangium. A stalk-like structure, hyphae, of a fungus, which grows perpendicular to the substrate and bears the sporongia or spores, functions in reproduction. A. Virus. B. Progametangium. C. Substrate. D. Sporongiophore. And the answer is D. Sporongiophore. Bacteria that can only live with or in the presence of free oxygen from the air. They require oxygen for respiration. A. Spore. B. Aerobacteria. C. Rhizopus. D. Anaerobic bacteria. And the answer is B. Aerobic bacteria. Black bread mold. Haploid, branched, filamentous, accepted, fungus. A. Spore. B. Aerobacteria. C. Rhizopus. D. Anaerobic bacteria. And the answer is C. Rhizopus. A reproductive cell or group of cells that can give rise to a new individual without the production of gametes has no food store. A. Spore. B. Aerobic bacteria. C. Rhizopus. D. Anaerobic bacteria. And the answer is A. Spore. Bacteria or microorganisms that can or must live in the absence of free oxygen from the air. A. Spore. B. Aerobic bacteria. C. Rhizopus. D. Anaerobic bacteria. And the answer is D. Anaerobic bacteria. Dear friends, thank you very much for taking part in Microbiology Part 3. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. I'm Joshua Mugabe. Bye-bye for now.